Hello, my name is Janae Mensing. I'm with Labtopia Informatix, and we have a new customer portal that we'd like to demo for you, and it's called myLIMSview. And myLIMSview is a customer portal that allows you to deliver sample statuses and reports with notification to your customers as a laboratory. It is a very simple system to use, and I'm going to log in now just to show you some of our features. Many times when you're in the search for LIMS, or you do have a LIMS system, one of the things that can cause some of a roadblock is allowing customers access to your system. And in many cases, this is not feasible due to cost or the fact that you might be concerned about customers having access to other customer data or other sensitive information in your LIMS system. Well, our customer portal allows you to send over the information only that you want your customers to know. Things that customers, usually the two things based on our surveys that we've done, that customers, that what they really want to know is what their sample status is. Have you gotten it? Have you started testing it? Have you completed it? Has it been approved? And is it reported? And can I have my report? In many cases, we get into instances with the customer's reports where they have to request past reports. But with myLIMSview, our customer portal, you can make that information available for the customer, and then they can retrieve that at any time, day or night, from any part of the globe, as long as they have access to the internet, and get their information immediately without having to call you and ask you to retrieve that for them. So below, I'm actually logged in as a laboratory, and I have my lab 1, and I have 2 customers within my laboratory. So I'm going to click into lab 1, which is my lab, and these are some sample data that I have for customers. I have 2 customers, customer 1 and Stars and Stripes Manufacturing, and as you can see, I have different statuses, and I'll go ahead and click and show you that I have information on 2 pages. Some things that I can do associated with maintaining my customers, maintaining sample information that goes into the lab portal for those customers is I'll click on administration. I can add additional users. So these are people that would log in. So if I wanted to choose for customer 1 or for Stars and Stripes, I can add a new user for Stars and Stripes Manufacturing. And I will go ahead and add a new user. And as I go to do that, if they don't exist in the system, I can now fill in their contact information. I'm not going to save that, so I'll just back it up. Now, once they've been added, then you can actually see which customers are associated with their laboratory, with the people that you want to have their contacts associated with the customer. So customer 1 has a couple of contacts. Stars and Stripes has a couple of contacts. Additional items that you can add, and this can be done through integration. One of the features that we have is we can integrate through views to your LIMS database and with web services, and we can pull information that you have. So let's say you have a customer ID or some type of a company name ID, or however you choose to identify your customer. We can pull this information over into the system if needed, or only just pull the customer ID so that it has a unique code, because we base each customer with all of their contacts is associated by that customer ID, so that when the contact logs in, they're not looking at other customers' information, they only have access to their information. Additional items that you can do is you can manually add sample status information if for some reason that you do not want to have us pull that from you automatically, which is preferable. There's also laboratories that may not have a LIMS system and they just want a way to get that report out. They can actually pick their customer, add the sample status, and we can add additional statuses if needed. When it was completed, the sample name, description, when it was received and the date it was authorized. And you can actually manually input that into the system. But what we've done is we've given you the option, and I'm going to go to configure sample fields, to actually choose which information is displayed to your customers. We right now have these 5 sample fields that are displayed to the customer. You can actually add additional fields. We can add more fields if you would prefer to have that information to that. You can look and see and remove it. You can see what type of date field it is, so that you can actually provide and change that information based on what you want to give. Some people may only want to choose to do the sample ID, maybe the customer sample ID, and the status, and then whether or not it has a report. So this is all configurable by you, the laboratory. And finally, you can actually look and see how often your customers are logging in to the laboratory. So for this particular part, you can actually click and say, oh, well, you know, Jadip has logged in 32 times this year, and maybe Gretchen's only logged in once. So you have the capability to see how your customers are using the system and those contacts. And then, of course, if over time that, you know, they never log in or anything, you can actually remove them from the system or contact your customer and make sure that, you know, they're getting the information that they need. So I'm going to go back into selecting the laboratory and looking at the customers, and I want to log in as Stars and Stripes Manufacturing. But first, before I do that, what I want to do is show you, and I do have a previous email demonstrate that I had an attachment uploaded, but I'm going to go through that process and show you how it notifies the customer that they have a report available. So I'm going to click on my laboratory, and this would be done automatically if it was integrated. And I'm just going to go ahead and upload a file to, let's pick one that's already been tested and awaiting approval, just to demonstrate this, knowing understanding that they would not have any file associated with something that's still in testing. You can literally go through and browse. So I'm just going to pick one file that I have. We'll scroll down. There's a sample test report. I'm going to save that. Upload that to the system. What that does is it uploads it and it sends an email. And if you look over here, as Betsy Ross, my customer, I actually have a new email saying that I have a sample, that's something that's been uploaded related to this sample ID, so that I know that once that's been uploaded, I can go log in as myself and look at those files. So I'm going to go back and log in as myLIMSview, or the Betsy Ross of Stars and Stripes, so that you can see what the customer actually sees when they log in. And we can customize this with your logo on the page, but right now we just have ours. So I'm going to log in as the customer. And as the customer, as you can see, my information has changed. I cannot go through and choose laboratories or other customer. I only have access to my data, Stars and Stripes. So when I click on that, as you can see, only Stars and Stripes data is displayed. And one of the really nice things that I can do with this is I can actually go through, and let's say I want to see how well the laboratory is doing or how many samples I have. I can go right down here and click on View Status Charts, and I have a quick chart to say, you know, how many samples haven't been received, you know, what's been tested, how many are still in testing, and how many have been approved. Just with a click of the button to see how well my laboratory as a contact and a customer of your lab is doing. Here are my 2 test reports. I just go through and I can click. The nice thing about this is I can now download this report. I can print it and I have access to my data immediately without having to contact the laboratory for that data. Very easy to get through. I can change my own password as your customer, and I can see sample data and only information associated with me. Now, if I had been a customer or a contact for another laboratory, I might be able to choose that laboratory's data and get that. But since I'm only your customer, only this customer, I'm able to only see that data. This is myLIMSview, a customer portal. It's a way to deliver sample statuses and test reports, pictures, or any type of uploaded document to your customer and have them notified immediately when it's uploaded. And I do hope that you would contact us for a more demo associated with your company. We can definitely give more customized demos. And if you would like information on pricing, please feel free to contact us, and we would be happy to show you the system in more in depth and provide a quotation for you. Thank you very much for your time.